Hi guys, today I've got my little mate Mason coming to give me a hand with this tip, so take it away buddy.
Hey, my name's called Mason. I'm going to show you how to fish smarter, not harder. Today, Ryan is going to fish my rod tip. So how you do it, Ryan?
Okay mate, well the other day when we were out fishing after the dawn service down there, I noticed that your rod tip
Has a crack.
has a little crack in the end, and you know what causes that?
When you hit stuff.
Yeah, sometimes if you're putting your rod away, it can be easily done, everyone does it. Wherever you bump against that end there, if you bump it hard enough, sometimes you'll get a little crack in the ceramics. That's that black piece in the middle there.
The eye.
Yeah, and sometimes you can't even see it. Like that one's pretty hard to see, but you can feel it with your fingernail, can't you? Feel it? And what that does, every time your line goes out, and especially when it's under load and you get a fish on it, if your fishing line rubs across that little gouge,
It'll snap.
it'll snap. That's right. So what we're going to do, we're going to replace yours, and this way people can take out rod tip sizes that they commonly use for their rods. You can leave them in your boat, in your tackle box, and also what we use is the hot tip glue, the glue cartridges out of the glue guns, and it also pays to keep a lighter on board as well. But if any kids are going to go and do this, make sure you get your parents to help you with the lighters. Now first mate, what we've got to do is take your old rod tip off. So what we do,
Heat it up.
we heat it where the metal part is, not where you're running, where all the cotton is, where those little runs are there. That's your decorative part that sort of makes your rod look nice. But what we're going to do, we're just going to heat up the end. That'll help melt the glue, and it'll come off a lot easier. If you use Araldite on rod tips, sometimes it's a bit hard to get off. So we'll see how this one goes. Oh yeah, it's nice and easy. There we go. Now mate, the reason why we use the pliers to take them off is because that gets very hot and you'll burn yourself.
That's what you done this end.
Yeah, I did burn myself just then before. So I've got to practice what I preach, don't I? So always use your pliers to take it off after you heat it up. Right, we'll put the old one away. Throw it on the floor more like it. Okay, now we're just going to make sure that that's all nice and clean. All right, there's no other bits of glue hanging off there. All nice and neat, ready to go. So what we've got to do next is we're going to heat up this glue stick, like so. Just put it under the end there for a while.
It's actually starting to melt.
Yeah mate, see it's starting to melt like a candle. And this stuff's good because if you want to change your rod tip, all you got to do is heat it up and it'll come straight off again. Right, see how that's getting nice and running? Now what we do is we get the end of the guide, and where the hole is, and we poke that down into the glue stick, run it along there. Right. Now what we do is we rub a little bit of excess around the edge of the rod tip, and then we press it on there, pull it back off, scoop a bit more of that glue down the end of the rod tip, and then push him on again. And you can just see a little tiny bit of glue coming out the end of the rod tip there. There's a little tiny dob coming out. That means your glue's gone right through the rod tip then. And then what we do is I just wet my fingers, take off the excess glue. There we go. What do you reckon? Does that look pretty straight to you? I've been out fishing all night till 3 o'clock, so my eyes are a bit blurry this morning.
Yep, that's straight.
That's pretty straight? Okay. So then what we do is we let it dry. It only takes about a minute to dry. It's probably dry now. Yep, look at that, nice and hard. And then we just scrape off any other little bits of glue that are left around the join, and then you're back in business. So if you go to the tackle shop and you buy a few spare rod tips, the ones that suit your size of rod, if you're out fishing and you do break it, well, you can easily change it, can't you? And you're back in business, and you know you're going to catch that big fish then. He's not going to get away on you. You catch that 5-pound barra, remember the one you were after the other morning?
Yeah.
Is that on one of Ryan's YouTube channels? Did you sit up last night and watch a few?
Okay, now we fixed your rod. You're back in business.
We have to do.
So we'll take you fishing one day, and see if we can catch you that barra. Okay, well what we'll do, we'll rig it up shortly for you. But what we're going to do is
Get this lure.
give you a nice little brand new lure for you. That's yours. That's for coming along and giving me a hand. And guess what else?
What?
My friends from Jarvis Walker come and done a kids film shoot with me on some of their kids gear, and they left me a few of these rods. And I don't need that one, and that's yours. Yeah, mate, it's all yours. Okay? It's a bit longer than this one, so you'll be able to cast a little bit further. Maybe catch a slightly bigger fish, so you can upgrade to a 10-pound barra. How's that?
So what pound line does it have on it?
It's 20-pound line, mate. It's a bit bigger than this one. That's about 15-pound.
You'll catch fish, the barra what you catch.
You might just catch the barra I catch.
And this is a nice strong rod.
It is, buddy. It's also a two-piece, so you can take it away with you. You can collapse it down in the car and take it away with you.
That's a one piece.
That's a one-piece, yeah.
And you can hook your hook onto there.
That's right. That's where they make those little lugs on there. You can put your hook on there, so you don't have to worry about the hook flapping around and getting stuck in you.
I'll leave it on pretty loose.
Yeah, and that's a little tip for the kids out there. After you wash your reel, when you come home, you got to leave your drags
Tight.
nice and tight while you're washing it, so that the water doesn't get down inside your drag. And then afterwards, give it a good shake, and come back out about an hour later, and just back your drags off, so your washers aren't compressed while it's in storage.
With that one, when I go fishing, I never wash that.
You never wash him?
No.
Hey, you're still in pretty good nick, mate. I bet you catch a good fish. Hey?
Thank you, Wayne.
No worries, mate. My pleasure. So now you're back in business. What do you reckon? Do you like that little tip?
Yeah.
So, if you like that little tip, rod tip, and you'd like to see more, subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, and if you only want some special tips I send out by email only, head on over to our website, www.ryanmoodyfishing.com, and sign up for free email updates. Get into the great outdoors, keep fishing.
Harder. I'm smarter and not harder.
That's right, buddy. We'll see you next time. How many of my movies have you watched?
Probably 20.
20? Well, you've got another 300 or 400 to go yet.
Which one's your favourite?
Some late nights?
My favourite is probably the one where he catches all the barra.
Yeah? Okay, there's a few of those. But yeah, keep watching, mate. You'll learn plenty. And that way you'll be able to go and catch those 5-pound barras all by yourself.